Okay, good afternoon. Here it is, 3 o'clock straight up, or I guess it's actually kind of a 90-degree thing with it. Anyway, welcome to the Administrative and Executive Committee. Those of you online, thanks for calling in. Hopefully you find this entertaining. Do we have any public questions in the queue, Chris? Seeing an abundance of no, we'll move to item number 3. California Special Districts Association Board of Directors seat, Charlie, nomination description. Is that yours, Tom? Didn't we talk about this last time?
This is one you're volunteering for.
It can be. I don't, is this one we've already had? That was a new, yeah, we get flooded with these about this time of the year, so this is a new one, I guess.
Oh, it's
a new one.
Okay.
And I was just looking at, I guess nominations are due March 31st, so as opposed to the one that we talked about at the previous board meeting, this does give you expectations for the number of meetings and all that stuff, so you have a better idea. Should you be considering putting your name in the hat, what your commitment will be, and the expectations.
Have we historically participated in this?
CSDA, I don't believe so.
It's just such out of the way. I mean, when you're talking about these meetings up at
Yeah, I know.
Sacramento.
Yeah, absolutely.
and,
Especially when they've withdrawn the
yeah,
telecommute thing. I assume that would apply to.
it says you have to participate at least, it meets 3 to 5 times. You have to participate at least one committee as well. Okay. And this is a big commitment for us, you know, because it's such a long trip and all that, unless you're man leisure like you are, so.
I'm just curious about what the impact of this position would be, and if there's anything that we could take advantage of. It's not obvious. Is there a write-up describing what the role is, and or did we just get?
It's like that third paragraph's about all you're gonna get.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's a description of what the responsibilities are, or what the role is.
Okay. Well,
Again, we never, that I'm aware, had anybody express interest or wanting to be nominated. But
do we have anybody calling in to nominate themselves on the phone, Chris?
Can we nominate,
Not at the moment.
can
Okay.
we nominate somebody who's not here?
Okay. And they can't say no, right?
That's right.
Okay.
I don't see anything to be done on that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I really don't. either.
present it to the board, see if any other board members are interested, and that's it.
It could be. Okay, item number 4, discussion of Senate Bill SB 606 and 1668. I think that one is Dawn's.
yeah, I have really nothing to update on that other than today there was a biannual water use efficiency, aqua water use efficiency work group meeting. Unfortunately, it was at 10 o'clock, which conflicted with the GA meeting. I did let Chelsea Haynes with Aqua know that there was a conflict, and if there's some way I can get information on that. Those aren't recorded that I know of, but if there's some way to follow up, maybe there's some PowerPoints or some documents that I could get, I'll follow up with her and see if there's something available. But other than that, I haven't received anything, no movement on that.
The big thing we're waiting for there is what they're gonna determine is outside water
Water
usage.
landscape.
Water usage, you just don't know. If it's anything like the formulas I've been seeing, and there's a number of them out, it's, everyone's gonna have a pretty large advantage if they have like large acreage. They really are, because it's based on rainfall, evaporation, size of acreage, and what the potential is for planting. And like I said before, is I did a calculation, I think it's Lancaster has, where they determine the amount you're being built, what's it called, the use of I can't remember, it's been so long. It's the type of billing that you do, basically where you assign the amount you can use. What's that? Budget based.
Palmdale
And
does
so I
that.
put my figures into theirs for my 5 acres, and I came up that I could use something like 340 HCF per month. It was huge. It was just a huge amount that I would be allowed under that system. So if any of this comes out based on those kind of usage, I think you're going to see some high expectations.
The other piece to that was the concern over the enforcement that apparently is that part of this discussion? Was that a separate discussion?
The enforcement of it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything specific to enforcement.
I knew that Aqua was trying to push back on some of the complexity of calculating all the,
Yeah, they've been actively submitting comments and suggestions. This has been ongoing, obviously, for a
right.
couple of years, and they've had these committees and water use efficiency groups going on for most of that time.
Mhm.
So they're engaged with the state.
One thing I'd be interested in,
They're supposed to take effect January 2024.
can't
Right.
stand around the corner, is the amount of time, I think I've asked you this once before, the amount of time that goes into satisfying all these requirements, reports for the state. I know once you get them into their cookbook fashion, where you're just plugging in numbers, it's a bit easier, but then more and more are coming forward. How much time does that really take? Is it, I know, and it worries me a lot, because there's gonna be more happening with this, I'm sure. And you look at it and say, who do we put that on? Can you even handle it?
Well, it's not just putting the report together, but collecting the data that goes into
We're
the
collecting the
report.
data. I mean, it's almost like typically the state says, well, this doesn't really cost you anything. It could cost a position. It could maybe in the long run, it may be a position just that you would call a government compliance or something. And, you know, I could,
along the line of.
I could foresee that based on what they're doing here, especially when it comes to possible enforcement and gathering the data and knocking on, you know, I've seen some knock on doors, how many people you have living here, where we're headed with this. This one scares me. This one scared me for years when it came up, and it still does.
Unfunded mandates. are
Unfunded
never fun,
mandate, just to see how bad it's gonna whoop us here.
especially when they don't understand the complexity of what they're asking for.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
All right, well, Don, just keep on top of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's all we can, I guess,
Yeah,
just
keep
be
us
aware.
informed. Yep.
Like has been suggested, even, paying the fine might be cheaper
Yeah.
than following it.
And that's the only enforcement action we can do, is all we can do is say, you know, we can pay, unless the state says that we can send someone out to knock on a door and shut their water off based on their usage, which they can't, as far as I can tell, then we have no way to enforce this,
Exactly.
except pay the fine.
Right.
And the state's gonna probably use that money very diligently. We won't say.
We won't.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we'll review the draft agenda for next Monday's meeting. I did a quick view of it, and my only comment was, I think I shared this with Lauren, but I'm not sure I see it on here, but I don't think we have, I haven't spoken with David, but my personal view is there's no update on the strategic planning effort.
Yeah,
It's all.
It's off, okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll maybe make that an item to discuss.
yeah, because that's the thing you and David are working on, and I was,
We made an initial dent in it, but, taking the next step, we need to decide whether we're going to hire, somebody to come in and facilitate that for us. It's possible something Stantec could do, right? Those kinds of things are in facilitators.
Ty's doing this, and I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, right?
yeah.
We have a lot of challenges right now
Well, you
financially.
get the board to do it, it's cheap.
I would think the board has enough talent.
I would agree that,
Work for you.
go on a future agenda so we can see where you are
Right.
and what you need, and, because I was curious about that, I've seen you guys have met at least once on it.
So we can, we'll find a way to share.
Maybe that subcommittee could work with staff and we can address all those things in-house.
Yeah,
That's possible.
there's no reason if, it's basically what you're doing is gathering information to give us a roadmap to the next 10, 15 years or so, is what you're trying to do. And we probably have enough information. Trying to read minds of certain groups and individuals can be tough, though.
Right.
But, so that's I think you can probably, I got faith in you and David. And look at all the volunteers you have, they're all sitting right there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That was the only comment I had. It looks like it's already been accommodated, so did you have anything, Ron, on this?
I don't like this first part called call to order, I'm just kidding. We need a couple of
It
different.
sounds awfully
Yeah,
formal.
we need
doesn't it?
yeah, it's awful formal, can't we get, no, I don't see anything on here that,
The pronouns look all right?
what's that?
The pronouns look all right?
Yeah, all that looks fine.
And there's very few action items required by the board, so I would hope it's a pretty quick meeting, other than closed session.
Yeah, seems like that list on closed session keeps getting longer and longer.
It does,
and longer.
doesn't it?
Uh-huh. No, I don't see anything else. I think
Okay.
it's fine.
Well, then, what's this? Oh, this is the write-up, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see this. So this is what we have on the,
Yes.
okay. Sorry, I didn't read it before. I'll look at that later. Okay then, well, without any further ado, we'll call the meeting at 10 minutes after 3.
Wow, you're so efficient.